The studio lights brighten, and the morning show theme fades as Mark Consuelos and Kelly Ripa turn toward the camera with their practiced smiles. The audience applauds, excited for the day's guest. Blake Shelton walks onto the stage with easy confidence, giving a casual wave before dropping into his seat. Kelly greets him warmly, but Blake's grin carries a hint of mischief. Kelly asks her first question, light, harmless, almost playful. But Blake leans forward and says, well, you know, some folks on the East Coast take themselves a little too seriously. The crowd gives a nervous laugh. Kelly's smile tightens just slightly. Mark raises an eyebrow, sensing the shift. Kelly tries to keep it light. Really? You think so? Blake shrugs with a smirk. If the shoe fits. The air cools. Mark adjusts his note cards, Kelly exhales quietly, and the audience shifts in their seats. The cameras keep rolling, but the energy on set has already changed. The cooking segment begins with cheerful music, but the atmosphere is already uneasy. A celebrity chef steps up with a bowl of ingredients, placing it in front of Blake. Blake, you want to help me mix this? The chef asks politely. Blake leans back, laughing loudly. Man, I didn't come here to do chores. That's Mark's job, right? The assistant around here. The audience reacts with a sharp collective inhale. Kelly pauses mid-stir, eyes widening for a split second. Mark forces a controlled smile, but his jaw tightens. We all pitch in on this show, Mark replies, keeping his voice steady. Nobody's above helping. Blake lifts his hands, acting innocent. Whoa, relax. I'm just messing around. Didn't know you guys were so touchy. Kelly sets her spoon down gently but firmly. Blake, we appreciate humor. We don't appreciate insults. Blake chuckles again, louder now, as if daring them to push back. Maybe you two need to lighten up. A few members of the crew exchange uneasy looks. The chef quietly steps aside, sensing the tension building between the three. The energy grows more uncomfortable with every second that passes. The moment the show cuts to commercial, the upbeat music fades and the studio falls into a stiff, uncomfortable silence. Kelly removes her microphone with slow, deliberate movements, her expression calm but unmistakably firm. Mark stands up from his chair, exhaling through his nose, trying to keep his composure. Crew members shuffle nervously in the background, sensing something is about to break. Blake stays seated, legs stretched out, scrolling casually through his phone as if nothing had happened on air. Kelly steps forward. Blake, this isn't working. You're disrespecting our team and our audience. Her voice is steady, clipped, controlled. Blake doesn't even look up. It's a joke, Kelly. You all are acting like it's the end of the world. Mark moves closer, his patience thinning. No. You crossed lines, multiple times. Look at us when we're talking to you. Blake finally glances up with a mocking smirk. Or what? You'll kick me off your little morning show. A producer nearby stiffens. Another stops mid-stride, gripping their headset, eyes darting between the three. The tension becomes thick enough to make the entire backstage area feel cramped. Kelly and Mark share one quick, silent look, one that says everything. A decision is forming, heavy and inevitable. The show returns from commercial break, but something is unmistakably different. On the main set, Blake Shelton's chair sits empty, lit by a spotlight that suddenly feels harsh and intentional. The audience murmurs, confused, while producers quietly signal Mark and Kelly to continue without him. Backstage, the real storm is unfolding. Blake stands near a makeup counter, arms crossed, frustration radiating off him. So that's it. I'm just benched. He snaps, disbelief twisting in his voice. Mark steps forward first, calm but with an unmistakable firmness. Blake, you weren't benched. You were disrespectful, and we won't bring that energy back on camera. Blake scoffs. You two are overreacting. It was a joke. This whole show's supposed to be fun. Kelly, composed but cold, moves beside Mark. Fun doesn't mean insulting the people who work here. We won't tolerate that. Blake throws up his hands. Wow. Unreal. Now you're gonna lecture me. Two security staff members appear at the end of the hallway, keeping a respectful distance but clearly on standby. A producer with a clipboard stands frozen nearby, watching, unsure whether to intervene. Mark's voice drops, low and unwavering. You're not going back on air today. Blake steps forward, irritation flashing in his eyes. You think you can just kick me off? Kelly meets his stare head on. This is our show. And we decide how it runs. The hallway goes silent. The tension presses down like a physical weight. Crew members pretend to busy themselves, stealing quick glances, waiting for what happens next. The hallway grows tighter as more crew members hover at a distance, pretending to check equipment while secretly watching the confrontation unfold. Blake stands rigid, chest rising and falling with barely concealed anger. "I'm not leaving," Blake says, his voice lower now, more serious. "You drag me out here, invite me on your show, and then act like I'm the enemy. No. Not happening." Mark steps a little closer, his expression controlled but firm. "Blake, we didn't drag you anywhere. You were invited as a guest. But guests show respect." Blake's jaw works, frustration simmering. "You two can't take a joke. That's the whole problem." Kelly folds her arms, but her voice stays level. "There's a difference between humor and disrespect. And you knew exactly what you were doing." Blake laughs once, sharp, humorless. "Oh, so now you're reading my intentions." A stagehand carrying a bundle of cables nearly drops them as the tension spikes again. A producer whispers into a headset, "Security may need to step in, stand by." Blake notices the security guards inching closer down the hallway. His expression shifts, part defiance, part disbelief. "Seriously? You're calling security on me?" Mark doesn't look away. "We're asking you to leave calmly. That's it." Blake's gaze flicks between them, Kelly's unyielding calm, Mark's unwavering stance, the silent security team waiting for the signal. "Unbelievable," Blake mutters, shaking his head, but his feet remain planted, unmoving. The standoff thickens, seconds stretching long and heavy. The air feels charged, like the moment before a thunderstorm finally breaks. The hallway feels suffocating as the silence stretches. Blake stands in the center like a barrier, his stubborn posture making it clear he has no intention of backing down. The overhead lights cast sharp reflections on the studio floor, highlighting every movement, every breath, every flicker of emotion. Two security guards approach slowly, professional, calm, hands relaxed at their sides. They stop a respectful distance away, waiting for direction. A nearby producer holds her clipboard so tightly the papers curl at the edges. "Blake," one of the guards says, his tone steady. "But not threatening, we're here to help you exit smoothly." Blake snaps his head toward them. "Exit? I didn't do anything wrong. These two just can't handle someone who doesn't kiss their showbiz crowns." Kelly's expression doesn't change, but her voice sharpens just slightly. "Blake, stop twisting this. You crossed lines, on air and off." Mark steps between Kelly and Blake, not aggressively, just firmly, placing himself as a clear boundary. "Nobody wants this to escalate. Let's end this professionally." Blake's fists clench at his sides, not in threat, just in pure frustration. "Professionally," he repeats, letting out a breath that borders on a scoff. "Throwing a guest out because you didn't like his jokes. That's your definition of professional." A few crew members stop pretending to work and stare openly now, exchanging uncertain looks. Someone in the back whispers, "This has never happened on the show before." The guard takes a single small step forward. "Sir, please. Let's walk out peacefully." Blake's shoulders tense. His eyes flick toward the exit, then back at Mark and Kelly, then toward the cameras sitting dormant in the wings. A mixture of pride, embarrassment, and simmering anger crosses his face. "I'm not walking anywhere until someone explains why I'm being treated like a criminal." Kelly inhales slowly, maintaining her calm. "No one is calling you a criminal. We're asking for respect. And cooperation." Blake shakes his head, stepping back just slightly, still refusing to move. "Well, you're not getting either." Everyone freezes. The hallway holds its breath. The next moment could shift everything.